love to compete, and whatever it is, if it's a surgery, okay, I'm going to come back better than what I was before, and you try to turn a negative into a positive, because in sports like football, I've had a Liz Frank foot surgery, Achilles, shoulder surgery. You're going to have your ups and your downs. You're going to win a Super Bowl, and then you're going to have times where you struggle, and I've had all of that.
Welcome back to Season 2 of the Elev8 podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If these episodes have brought you any value, I gratefully value your like, share, or review. I am Tyler Johnson, your host, and to get Season 2 in motion, my guest is two-time Super Bowl champion, playing in the NFL for 15 years. He was part of the only wide receiver trio in NFL history to secure 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns apiece in a season in 2004. He was a fourth-round pick from Louisiana Lafayette. If you're in the Denver area, you can hear him talk football on 104.3 The Fan in the afternoons. And he's just an all-around fun guy. Let's welcome to the show, Brandon Stokley.
Let's get busy, yeah, who's with me? All these lights and they all so pretty. Just one night to live like kids.
What is your greatest memory as an athlete, man? You've had a lot of them. What is the one that sticks out to you the most?
I think the one for me would have to be Super Bowl 35. And my second year in the NFL, I never imagined being able to play in a Super Bowl. And then to be in that moment and catch a touchdown was kind of the icing on the cake. But obviously we won the football game, and that was the most important thing. But like I said, being able to contribute and have a few catches and catch a touchdown there. My family was sitting right in that end zone. And then afterwards, you're celebrating with your teammates and you realize, man, I just won a Super Bowl. I just never could imagine really playing in the NFL, but then on top of it, being on the biggest stage in a Super Bowl and contributing to a win. And then afterwards, you're just sitting in a big old tent, the celebration, the party afterwards, and got a big table and all my family's there. I got my dad on one side, my grandfather on the other side, my sisters. And it was just one of those things where you just look around and you just know how unique and great that time is. And you're just spending it with the ones that you love and the ones that have just supported you all along. And there they are. And it was something else. And I still just think about that moment and just kind of pinch myself that I was able to win a Super Bowl.
Right on, man. No doubt. Did Ray Lewis tear up the dance floor that night?
I don't remember who the dancers were that night. It certainly wasn't me. I can tell you that.
Okay.
But it was fun. It was a great time, and like I said, to be able to spend that with your teammates, walking around, seeing them, and celebrating, but also your family members.
So you talked about the celebrating with the teammates there. You had a lot of great teammates. I have a hypothesis how this answer might go, but is there a teammate that elevated your game more than others?
You think you know where this one's going?
I've interviewed other people that played with Peyton, so throw me a curveball. Let's go.
I wish I could. No, I had a lot of great teammates, but none like Peyton, not even close. He's one of a kind. His work ethic, his drive, his determination was like that of no one else that I've been around. And he held himself to a higher standard. He asked people to work really, really hard, harder than you thought you could work, and spend extra time and sacrifice a lot. He asked that of you, but he did more than he would ask you to do. And so his commitment to just being great and leaving no gray area out. That was the thing about him. He didn't want any gray area. Well, I thought you were going to do this. Well, maybe you were going to do that. No, there was none of that with him. It was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And if it was wrong, it was going to get corrected. It wasn't one of those things that he would just let slide by. And then you'd go out on the practice field and you would just work it and rep it over and over and over again. So, when the lights came on, it was second nature. But his standard was so high, and he held himself to that standard, and he held everybody else to it also.
To kind of follow that up, you hear that level of accountability that he pushes with his teammates and his teams. There's a lot of athletes that want that accountability from their teammates, but don't know how to go about it. What allowed Peyton the bandwidth to do that?
Well, obviously, he was a great football player.
Right.
So he was already a leader by being great. And so people looked up to him in that regard. And I think certainly that helps. But also, people just saw his determination and what he was doing. He wasn't, like I said, he wasn't asking you to do anything that he wasn't doing, tenfold. So he was that guy that would be there, first in the morning, last to leave. And, and sometimes you got to rub people the wrong way. That's just how it is,
Want to make everyone happy, serve ice cream, right?
That's right. Exactly. So sometimes you got to rub people the wrong way, but that's just what it is. And if you know Peyton, you didn't take it personal. You knew it's all about trying to win. There was no hidden agendas for him. It was trying to win. It was trying to be great. And he walked that fine line. He was such a great leader. He always made sure to go out of his way to, whether it was a new guy or sitting at different tables and getting the guys together during training camp to go to the bar and hang out when we had some free time, just that camaraderie. So he had that. He knew how to handle different guys, and he knew how to navigate different circles. And like I said, it wasn't just hard on you all the time. There was a fun side to him also, and so he was able to navigate those waters like nobody I've ever seen.
Good stuff. Going back to you, coming out of what they would call maybe a smaller Division I school, being drafted, what was the first thing you felt like you had to prove when you got into camp and coming into the league?
I think I just wanted to prove that I belonged, that I could play, and that I was just going to work hard and just try to do whatever it took to help the team win and be a good teammate, really, and just just kind of stayed to myself and tried to earn the veterans and the older guys' respect by just how I worked and how I went about my business. And I think that for me was the main thing. It was just working hard, just going in there, grinding, working hard, and showing everybody, hey, this is just who I am, and I'll do whatever it takes to be a good teammate and to help this team, this organization be successful.
Tremendous. You were a multi-sport athlete. You're a standout at, not just football. Dad was a coach as well, I believe. And what do you think some kids are missing these days when it comes to specializing in sports too early or being a single sport high school star?
Well, I think, first of all, it's just fun to interact with just different people.
Sure.
When you're playing different sports, you're interacting with a lot of different people, and you're figuring out how to just know different guys and how to navigate and work with different different guys that you didn't play football with or you didn't play basketball with, and maybe you're on the baseball team. So different personalities, and also I think when you see the specialization that younger and younger now into one sport, I think you see injuries a lot more so than what we saw, say, when we were growing up, because you're just doing one movement over and over and over and over and over again. You're not getting a lot of other movements. So I think, and I hate it for the kids. I do, and I think you got to look at the parents. You look at the parents because they look at they look at the Bryce Harpers and the Tiger Woods, and they say, I want my kid to be the best 10-year-old baseball player, so they play year-round baseball, or the best 10-year-old basketball player. And then I think kids get worn out, and I think kids injuries you see a lot more and more because of the specialization. But I blame the parents, and it's just kind of where we've gone as a society, and there's really no turning back. But I encourage kids to play as many sports as possible. Obviously, I played 3 sports in high school for 2 out of my 4 years, my freshman year and my senior year. And I've just played basketball and baseball my other 2 years. But I as many sports as you can play. But it's harder and harder these days to do it. And so there's really no right answer, because I don't think you can play 3 sports in high school anymore. Not if you're playing at a highly competitive high school. It's just so hard to do. It really is. And with school the way it is, and it's just a tough thing to do. So, but as much as you can play, I say do it, especially early on. Play a lot of sports growing up, and nobody cares if you're the best 8-year-old baseball or basketball player. That's not going to really usually get you anywhere. Play a lot of sports, have fun, enjoy it, and then as you get closer to high school, I think kids will kind of determine which way they want to go.
If you didn't catch that in that answer, Brandon, you did not play high school football your sophomore and junior year, right?
That's right. I stopped playing football. I played quarterback, and I couldn't throw the ball 20 yards. We ran the option. I was 5'4", 115 pounds going into my sophomore year of high school, and I just didn't like it very much at that time, and I just wanted to play basketball and baseball. So I decided to quit football and play basketball and baseball, and we ended up getting a new coach before my junior year, put in a wide open spread offense, which back then was like, what? You're going to throw the ball, 75% of the plays. And he asked me to come back out for football my senior year and try play receiver. And like you said earlier, my dad was a football coach, so I grew up around football, and playing receiver was just natural for me. So I said, you know what? I'll give it a shot. Thank goodness I did. It's worked out pretty well.
No doubt. It did work out well, but not without overcoming adversity and things like that. I mean, probably the feeling from being overlooked at times to being released to surgeries to injuries. What helped you overcome some of those adversities in football and maybe also just in life?
Well, in football, I just love to compete. And obviously some of those surgeries were really tough. And I had my first surgery my junior year in college. I tore my ACL. And back then in 1997, it wasn't as normal as it is now. And so that was when I was really hoping to get the scouts' attention. And I started hearing from different people about possibly playing in the NFL. And I said, wow, that would be really cool. And then I tore my ACL. And then now, so you have all that, you feel like it's just gone, and you don't know if you'll ever be able to play again. So, but I just love to compete, and whatever it is, if it's a surgery, okay, I'm going to come back better than what I was before, and you try to turn a negative into a positive, because in sports like football, I've had a Liz Frank foot surgery, Achilles, shoulder surgery. You're going to have your ups and your downs. You're going to win a Super Bowl, and then you're going to have times where you struggle. And I've had all of that, where years have just been brutal, whether it be just getting injured and not being able to stay healthy, or just not playing as good as I think I should have. So, but that's life. And I think when you look back on those times and circumstances, it makes you stronger. It makes you tougher. And so when I was going through that ACL my junior year of college, I mean, that was the last thing obviously that I wanted to do. And it was so hard and difficult, but I looked at it and tried to come out better for it. And now looking back, it made me a better person. Every surgery and every adversity I went through has made me a better person, a better man. And so that's life, though. Life is tough, and it's full of ups and downs and adversity, just like sports are. So I think when you go through those tough times, you gotta know it will get better, and you gotta meet it head on and take it and turn it into a positive.
Great advice. Take the negative, turn it into a positive. One of the positive things you've done is use your platform, beyond the football to do some charity work. I know you especially have done some amazing things for veterans and their families. Could you talk about that a little bit? And then what lesson have you learned, or can you share with athletes just to be involved and give back to their communities?
Yeah, I love working with the veterans. And when I played in the NFL and during training camp, we would have some of the veterans come out and just be out there and watch practice. And that was always the highlight of my training camp, was get to see those guys and just thank them for their service and all that they've sacrificed for us. And now, since I've been retired, I've been able to work with different groups and have them out to Broncos training camp. And so that's always such a treat for the players and myself to see, their reaction and just our veterans and how much they appreciate it. And just to be out there for one day and get to meet the, Von Millers and guys like that who do such great things in the community. But so for me, it's been wonderful just to partner with them and be able to give back, because they've sacrificed so much for all of us. And I think when you look at athletes nowadays, there's so many that do so many great things in the community and make such a huge impact. It makes you feel good about yourself that you're making a difference. And I think organizations and sports leagues across the country make it a priority. I know here locally in Denver, the Broncos are great with making it a big point of what they want to do and give back. And you see the impact that it has on kids. And, I remember growing up and looking up to athletes. And if you ever got to meet one or talk with one, the impact that it made on me as just a young kid. And so I'll never forget that. And so for me, I always try to, just leave a lasting impression, a good impression on a kid and make a kid's day or anybody else that you can help along the way.
I know through seeing you coach a little bit last fall, you do leave some good lasting impressions on young men. They enjoy you. If you could get in a DeLorean and go back and visit 16-year-old Brandon, what piece of advice on your journey to becoming a world champion and a father and husband, what piece of advice would you give 16-year-old self?
Enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. The ups and the downs, and life's not perfect. Sports aren't perfect. You're going to have games. You're going to have seasons. You're going to have off seasons that are filled with ups and downs, adversity. It's hard work, and sometimes you just wake up in the morning like, gosh, I don't want to go work out. I want to sleep in. Embrace it. Enjoy that process, because in the blink of an eye, you look back and you're 43 and you're done playing football, and you'd give anything. I know people tell kids that all the time. I'd give anything to be back in high school, going through that grind with your teammates and sweating but enjoy it. Enjoy every aspect of what you're going through, whether it be high school, college, whatever you're going through. Enjoy the process. It's not going to be perfect. I know that and understand it. Yeah. But it's life, and that's kind of what I would tell. Don't rush through it. Don't rush through it. And so that's what I go back and tell myself. Just enjoy it. Enjoy every moment of it. I look back at college and the NFL, and some of the times that put a smile on my face were the hardest times, the toughest times. Sure. And so those are some of the best memories I have of looking back. It's not the wins and the losses. It's the camaraderie. It's the airplane rides back after a game, sitting back there with the guys and playing some cards and doing those things. And but life goes fast, and so don't rush the process. Enjoy the moments.
Good stuff. Well, you sit at a card table with Brandon, enjoy it, but be careful. From what I hear, I don't know.
Coming for you.
So last question. How do you define success?
For me, success is about competing. It's not about winning. It's not about always being the best. It's about going out and working your tail off and setting your goals and doing whatever you can to achieve those goals through hard work and dedication. And sometimes you might fall a little bit short, but that's okay. Deep down inside that you gave it your all, and that you worked as hard as you could, and you dedicate yourself to that goal and to try to be your best. And when you can do that, that's success. And sometimes you fall short. That's life, that's sports. But you know what? You can pick yourself off the mat and look at yourself in the mirror, knowing that you did everything that you could to to achieve your goals and to be great. And then you bounce back and you keep doing it. And if you continue to do it, sooner or later you will be at the top, and you will win a championship, or you will beat that team that you couldn't beat. Whatever it may be, if you continue the process of just working hard and committing to being the best, eventually it will happen for you.